This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This your boy Blak Magus, back with another Drunken Old Man Rant, and y'all need to stop going out here catching these hands for the dumb shit that you do or say. Now, I've said this on the podcast, I've said this in a blog, I've said this in countless random rants that I have put on Twitter, but I keep feeling I need to reiterate this thing in every medium possible so y'all motherfuckers can understand what I mean when I say that do what you want, just be ready to catch those hands, metaphorically or literally. Now, what I mean by that is, for those who don't know, people nowadays feel like they can say what they want, do what they want. You know, you hear all the barking about being a free thinker, about freedom of speech. I do what I want. I'm just the realest person in the room. Don't be mad at me because I keep it real and like speak my mind. You know, the whole like I speak my mind and you know don't give a fuck. You know what you gotta say. I'm just honest. Blah 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 blah. All that dumb shit. Here's the thing about that. You don't need to continually say that shit to qualify it. Reality, truth of the matter is, everybody does have the right and the freedom to say what they want. Even without the First Amendment in the United States, you have an inalienable human right, at least in my opinion, to speak your mind, voice your opinion. Now, of course, there are consequences with that. And sometimes the consequences are based on the way the law is constructed. Like there's certain places where people don't have the freedom of speech like we do. And speaking your mind is even more detrimental. But here in the United States, we've kind of romanticized or just basically glossed over the true meaning of the First Amendment and freedom of speech. Freedom of speech gives you the right to like voice your opinion. It gives you the right to, you know, have a forum to do so or what have you, and to not necessarily, you know, I guess you could say it says that you have the right to say it and that nobody should try to impede that right. That being said, it doesn't say that you can't catch consequences for what you say. And that's something that I need a lot of people to realize is that, sure, go ahead, say what you want, do what you want. Just know that that doesn't mean that a job or whatever organization doesn't have the right to penalize you for it. You know, certain jobs don't want you talking about certain things. They want certain decorum, behavior. They're not saying that you can't speak your mind, but they prefer that you don't speak on certain issues in a certain way. Good example, of course, would be the Roseanne Barr thing. Roseanne Barr, you know, everybody knows she just lost her TV show. She decided that calling motherfuckers monkeys, basically comparing them to Planet of the Apes characters, was hilarious and something that she could say and get away with. Mind you, she walked that it's a joke shit after people realized that, one, it wasn't a joke, and two, it wasn't funny. So she got the axe from ABC. They canceled Roseanne, even though they just renewed it like what, a week or two ago, at the time of this recording. And you know, they cut all that. You got people cutting syndications of her shows, all types of shit. She pretty much like lost mad money because her dumbass wanted to say what she wanted, thinking that shit was cute. Now, a lot of people are sitting here trying to complain and scream and holler and talking about like she's being impeded of her First Amendment. No, she's not, because nobody's ever told her she couldn't say it. That's the thing. ABC never said you said something that you shouldn't have said, or that you couldn't say, or that you shouldn't have said even. They basically said, we don't like people who talk in that manner. We don't like offensive language. We don't like racist talk. We don't like, you know, well, not offensive language. They don't give a fuck about offensive language, but offensive language in the vein that what she said was very, very offending and racially charged. And, you know, you can be fired for that shit. Your company doesn't have to agree with what you say. It's because they have a legal reason to allow you to say certain things. If you're representing a company and you're under contract in most companies, or even just when you're just working a regular job, you're expected to uphold certain professional requirements. And part of those requirements in some places are to not put up some racist bullshit. And you know what? ABC realized, you're going to cost me more money than it is worth keeping your ass. And I have to protect my business, as well as the fact that possibly we just don't morally believe in this, and nor do we want people working for us who engage in certain activities. Jobs have the right to do that. So, hey, Roseanne's rights were impeded. Never, not at all. She was allowed to do what the fuck she wants. But again, there's consequences, or as I love to say, you will catch those hands, either metaphorically or literally. She's lucky she didn't catch those hands literally from, what's her name? Valerie Jarrett, I believe is the name of the woman that she made fun of, saying like Mixed Planet of the Apes or something, and that's who you get and all that dumb shit. She's lucky that chick don't run up on her and bop her. Like, soundly drub her for her bullshit. Because that's what can happen. And it's just like things with like the Kanye bullshit, him trying to spit that, I'm a free thinker and you just don't like it, I'm a free thinker. No, nobody has the issue with you thinking freely, like you said. But if people have issue with something that you said, hey, just like you have the right to say that shit, they have the right to counter and come back and say that you're on some bullshit and fuck you, Kanye. But that's the thing. A lot of people these days, especially on the internet, get out there and they start running their fucking mouth, not realizing that they can catch those hands. And I don't know why people don't understand that. It's like, just because you say something and you have the right to say something doesn't cocoon you in a goddamn bubble where you're nice and warm and safe. It's like, I can say some bullshit, now I'm gonna run and hide. Now, we kind of get that sense from our president because he's able to say bullshit and he's still kicking. But again, it's the consequences of the situation. The people who he has to answer to, they some bitches and they don't want to do shit about it. You know what I mean? They feel like he's beneficial to keep him around for their own means. So that's why he hasn't caught those hands yet. But guarantee you, he will probably end up catching those hands. He caught them in the past. He'll catch them again in the future. Now, if he catches those hands, it's gonna be some shit because he's gonna catch hands in the worst way. He would be better off literally catching hands, having somebody pummel his ass, than what he can look forward to if he gets in trouble for the shit that he does. You know what I mean? So, and no, it's not like he's exempt, so don't think you're exempt either. And I think people feel like falsely safe to do dumb shit because he's the president of the United States, does dumb shit. Nah, it still don't work that way. Nothing's changed in life. He may be in special circumstances, but your ass, like Roseanne found out the hard way, ain't under those special circumstances. You don't get that pass that everybody else will. Not, some people will get passes for that dumb shit. Some people won't. It's just the way life works. But in the event, there are chances for repercussions and consequences. So make sure when you go on this path of I say what I want, I do what I want, all that bullshit mumbo jumbo that y'all like to say to qualify your behavior, just know that you're gonna catch those hands eventually. And if you don't, lucky you. Be blessed that you don't catch those hands, because 9 times out of 10 in the environment that we have now, people are sick and tired of the bullshit, and they're willing to throw those hands to anybody at this point. And we've seen businesses are willing to throw their hands and bat down companies and sever ties and all that. You can catch those hands. Don't think you can't. You're not impervious. So keep that in mind when you're doing all the speaking your mind, free thought, freedom of speech, mumbo jumbo, trying to holler about how your opinion is that important enough to hear. Most of the time it's not, but you just feel like whatever you say can go, and you can walk that bullshit any way you want. Nah, you won't catch those hands. Anyway, as always, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Blak, Magus, and I'm out. Deuces.